This is a short revision video on the character of Rahim Khan in the Kite Runner. Rahim Khan isn't really a major character within the Kite Runner, but I thought it was important to make a video on him because the chances of him coming up in a production question for the Kite Runner, I'd say, are quite high. We're first introduced to him as Baba's friend and business partner, and it's Rahim Khan's point of view. We see a whole chapter from that, and we also get a few little insights into the Afghan life through Rahim Khan, who, he's the one that describes Baba for us. So we have Baba's glare that would drop the devil to his knees begging for mercy. He came up with Baba's famous nickname, Mr. Hurricane. Stuff like that. He essentially acts as AMIR'S father figure, so he replaces Baba. Baba shows the utmost cruelty to his son. Not cruelty, that's a harsh word. He shows, disfavour. He's not proud of his son. Rahim Khan's the one that, shows Amir he can be whoever he wants, regardless of what his father thinks. He's the one that supports Amir, and he's having, arguments with Baba. Indeed, it's in that argument that we see that someone is actually prepared to stand up to Baba, and that's Rahim Khan, who I think he calls Baba selfish. I'd say the most interesting part of Rahim Khan's character is how he ends. He ends with a letter, and it's quite an interesting letter to read, especially if you think you're going to do a Kite Runner production question. Good to get a feel for his voice. But in this letter he says, I'm going to go die by myself, don't try to find me. And that's how, we last see him within the book. And if you read the few paragraphs after the letter, there's no mourning from Amir for Rahim Khan. He's about to die, really. But there's no mourning from Amir. Amir doesn't feel that towards him, regardless of their connection. So that might show still some selfishness on Amir's part. He doesn't know how much Rahim Khan's done for him, how he's allowed him the chance for redemption. But without Rahim Khan holding the plot together, we would never get to see a lot of the stuff we see, because we need Rahim Khan to tell us stuff that Amir, the first-person narrator, for the vast majority of the book, wasn't there for. If we look at that first quote there, we've got Baba holding Amir, and Amir's just reaching towards Rahim Khan as, father. So essentially, Baba's the one that Amir sees as the father, and that everyone sees as Amir's father. But he's not the one that Amir really truly feels that father connection with. That's Rahim Khan, whom he reaches for with his finger. He seeks Rahim Khan's approval simply because he knows he's not going to be able to get Baba's. We've also got this description within that of Baba looking tired and grim. That's quite a contrast to the proud Baba that we know. And this would have been when Baba would, probably just about Hassan would have been born quite recently. So he's just lost his wife, because obviously he lost his wife giving birth to Amir. His wife died in childbirth. And because Amir's a baby, we can guess that this is around the time he's having an affair with Ali's wife. And so either, Hassan's just been born, Hassan's growing in the stomach. That's probably why he's looking tired and grim, because he knows he's betrayed his best friend. If you look at the other two quotes, it's Rahim Khan supporting Amir in what he needs to do, or what Amir wants to do in his life. So here, you probably have a contrast here. If you were making a point, you have the contrast between Rahim Khan and Baba. So Rahim Khan's very supportive. Baba is saying, no, don't be a writer, it's a load of rubbish. Be a great man like me. We've also got an air of sincerity, maybe? Is that even a word? About Rahim Khan. Because Rahim Khan had a crush on this girl. Don't know what the word is. He was going to get married to this girl, essentially, but his dad said no. So he knows what happens. He knows what it feels like when your father doesn't accept you for who you are. And then there's a very small point here that I believe Amir actually makes in the book himself. It says, AMIR'S is what Rahim Khan says to him. And Amir points out, only Rahim Khan never says Jan, which is the tone of endearment in Farsi culture. Farsi culture? Afghanistan culture? It's a Farsi word used in Afghanistan as a, message of endearment, Amir Jan, like Amir dear, something like that. That rhymes. So essentially he gets the love and support from Rahim Khan that he never got from his own father. And in the last quote there, Amir compares all of his other presents to blood money. He thinks he only got them because he brought that kite home, and that kite he only brought it home because he let Hassan get raped, and obviously the blood we see is the blood trickling onto the snow. But he believes that Rahim Khan would have supported him no matter what, and thus Rahim Khan giving him the book doesn't mean, it's not because Rahim Khan's proud of Amir, proud of how Amir's done in the kite tournament. It's because Rahim Khan believes in Amir's writing. Then we have Rahim Khan. Now, Rahim Khan is the one that holds the whole plot together. This is especially because everyone confides in Rahim Khan. So we have Baba, who tells Rahim Khan all about his affair with Ali's wife, about how Hassan's his son, and we have Hassan himself, who confides in Rahim Khan about the whole rape situation and the fact that Amir watched it. So within the very first chapter, we have Rahim Khan calling up Amir, and this allows Amir to get the redemption that he craves, and the redemption that, as a reader, we feel we need Amir to have for us to be satisfied with the whole book as a whole. Without Rahim Khan, there wouldn't be this massive connection between the characters. There wouldn't be this opportunity that Amir needs to redeem himself. In Amir's childhood, Rahim Khan also provides the love and support that Amir needs, and the whole all the main characters, the good people in the first few chapters, they need Rahim Khan's support. I mean, even Hassan and Rahim Khan talk to each other. And then going down to chapter 16, it's Rahim Khan that allows us the insight into the events that Amir wasn't present for. So if we didn't have Rahim Khan, we wouldn't know that Hassan had been shot in the back of the head. We wouldn't know about Sohrab, simply because this is a first-person narrative. It's written from the first person with the exception of chapter 16. Without this chapter, we'd be missing so many key facts. It gives the audience also a nice change in voice, which makes it a bit more interesting, livens it up a bit. But I think it's just a nice chapter for giving us all these facts that we need. And I just flicked the chapter now, and just from looking at it straight away, we can see that Rahim Khan is a three-dimensional character. He appreciates he's got faults here. He says he went to go look for Hassan because he was lonely, not because he wanted to see if Hassan was okay, because he was lonely. This is a fact we can see straight away. We can see Rahim Khan is a very rounded character, but he appreciates that he has faults. He knows that everyone has faults, and thus he is not as judging as other people who aren't so aware of their faults. So I'd say that Rahim Khan does hold the plot together. I mean, with the exception of Amir and Asif, are there any real characters that come at the beginning and at the end? No, not really. Rahim Khan is the person, he's the guidance and the mentor that Amir needs. Every plot, every storyline typically has some old wise person that gives advice to the heroes, and in this one, it is Rahim Khan. And I think Rahim Khan also represents a lot in this. I think from Rahim Khan we get this view of Baba that we wouldn't have got otherwise. From Rahim Khan we see the stuff about Hassan we'd never have known if it was just from a first-person narrative from Amir. I think having this chapter 16, seeing the situation from someone else's point of view, is really refreshing for the reader. It's actually really interesting in terms of analysis of the book as well. So that is all you never wanted to know about Rahim Khan. Join us next time for Asif, who's actually a really exciting character. I know he's like vindictive and a sociopath and whatever, but I think he is one of the most fascinating characters in the Kite Runner. Even though he is slightly one-dimensional, Hosseini himself said, I wish I hadn't made him so obviously like a Nazi, aspiring to be a Nazi. He's still a fascinating character, so I really can't wait to do that video. So I might try to get that one up tonight. But anyway, hope this video has helped, and I will see you later. Bye!